So my name is Gudelia Guerra. I am from Mexico. I've been living in the Philippines already for the last 10 years. And I belong to a community called Regnum Christi. So Regnum Christi means Kingdom of Christ in Latin. And it was founded in Mexico in 1941. And we are 70,000 members all around the world. And in Regnum Christi we have different branches. So it's a spiritual family in the Catholic Church. And as a family, there is place for all the members of the family, really, right? So we have the Legionaries of Christ, who are the priests. Then we have consecrated men and women. So I am a consecrated woman, and they're also consecrated men. And we also have the lay members. So the lay members is the vast majority, of course. They're many, and that's where like it really doesn't matter like your age, if you're married or single. Like in fact, like my family is like they're all Regnum Christi members. My parents are Regnum Christi members. My sisters, my brothers, my cousins. Like so this lay branch is really for like everyone. Everyone. It's super beautiful. So I guess I would say that's what describes the community I'm part of, Regnum Christi. It's a spiritual family in the Catholic Church. Well, I guess what gives meaning to the expression of my faith, it will definitely be the Regnum Christi charism. The definition of charism is the way that a group of people live a specific mystery of the life of Christ. So the way that a group of people live a specific mystery of the life of Christ. And in Regnum Christi, the mystery of the life of Christ that we try to imitate is how Jesus called, formed, and sent his disciples. And that definitely gives a lot of meaning to my faith, to the practice of my faith. I know I have been called by Jesus to follow him. I know he has formed me, and now then he sent me. But it's a constant cycle. Like every day he calls me, every day he forms me, every day he sends me. It's something that happens daily. Of course, there is a particular moment when it's like the big call, but I know that I'm being called every day to do it. So I really love being like partaker of that wonderful mission that happens in the life of each one of you in a daily basis. Like I know that I am called, formed, and sent every day, and so are all the other Regnum Christi members. So this, my Jesus has given so much meaning to my life that what I want is for more young people to be able to experience how he can give you also so much meaning, so much joy, so much fulfillment. So when it comes to practices, I really don't think I can get very specific because it's more on the experience, like the full experience that encompasses the whole reality. So, yeah. Of course you encounter difficulties all the time. Actually, I love thinking of this moment in the life of Santa Teresa of Avila. So there was a moment that Santa Teresa was praying in the chapel, and she told Jesus, like, why do you treat me this way? Like I'm doing all of this for you, and like why are all of these things happening to me? And Jesus told Santa Teresa of Avila, it's because that's how I treat my friends. And then Santa Teresa of Avila answered him back, that's why you have so few. That's why you have such few friends, right? And I think that when we're talking about following Jesus, we're following a God that died crucified for us innocently. So why am I expecting this to be easy? Right? So hardships, difficulties, of course we will all encounter daily, all the time. But what helps me overcome it is to see him, to see him hanging in that cross out of love for me and for each one of us. It what motivates me to quench that thirst that he has for each one of us. I don't dedicate a specific time of my week to practice my faith. My faith is the air I breathe, as I breathe, I'm living my faith, you know what I mean? So, I don't dedicate a specific time to live my faith. It's just my way of life. It's my way of life. Of course, definitely, like, if you want to get a good grade, you have to dedicate time to study, right?
Yes.
So, of course, to be able to live my faith fully, I have to dedicate time to live my faith, right? But it's an attitude more than an action, right? However, if the attitude is the right one, the actions will be the right ones, right? But I think it can't work otherwise. You won't dedicate time to your faith if your attitude is not that of, my faith is the air I breathe. So since my faith is the air I breathe, of course, like I have my prayer commitments. I pray an hour every day. I go to mass every day. I pray the rosary every day. I do morning prayers and night prayers. I try to read spiritual books, of course. They help a lot. So all of those things I do it, but why? Because the attitude is my faith is the air I breathe, you know. So I don't do them out of duty. I do them out of, if I don't breathe, I die, you know. I've always loved the presence of Jesus in the Eucharist. Actually, I heard this story once that there was an atheist that asked a Catholic, if you Catholics believe that God is in the Eucharist, why are churches empty? Right? So if we really believe that Jesus is present in the Eucharist, we should go more to meet him there, right? Like, I guess I want to go to heaven. I want to go to heaven, and I guess all of you also want to go to heaven. And the closest that we have to heaven on earth is the Eucharist. We just can't see the presence of Jesus here the way that is in heaven, but the presence is as real here in the Eucharist as it is in heaven. It's just our senses that prevent us from being able to see him as real as he is in heaven, right? So the Eucharist is by far like my favorite moment of the day, to go to Mass and receive him in the Eucharist, and to be able to do my morning prayers in front of the Blessed Sacrament. I love it. I love visiting the Adoration Chapel here in Atenas, spending there some time of prayer. It's great, really. Faith goes beyond a list of rules, of commandments, do's and don'ts, and norms. I think that faith is an encounter with someone. So my faith, it's really a relationship of friendship with Jesus, and that's what helps me in my everyday, and that's why I believe. You know, like when you have a friend and she tells you something, if you really truly know that she's your friend, you believe her, right? So in my case, Jesus is really my best friend, and of course he's my spouse, you know, like I have given him my life. I'm not gonna get married. I live poverty and chastity and obedience. I have married him, right? So like for me, why is it important to believe? Well, because if not, I did nonsense, you know, like I gave my life to someone and I wasted it, you know. But for those who are not called really to the consecrated life, why should we believe? I will answer what Pope Benedict XVI answered when he was giving his homily in his pontificate. He said, quoting John Paul II, he said, be not afraid to follow Jesus, right? And after he said, be not afraid to follow Jesus, he added from his own words, because Jesus will give you everything you need, and he won't take away anything of the things that make you happy. And I think that we tend to think that by believing, we are being lessened. We disappear, we don't exist, what you like and dislike doesn't matter. And it's really not like that. Jesus brings you to the fulfillment of your life. So why should we believe? Because if you, as young people, want to experience the fullness of your youth, it's there. It's in following Jesus that you will experience the fullness of your youth. Well, I think that something that brings both of those realities together is the liturgical cycle. You know, like now, for example, next Sunday is Christ the King Day, the last day of the ordinary time to start Advent, right? So Advent, ordinary time, then Lent, Holy Week, Easter, ordinary time, right? Like that. So the church, as a mother that it is, the church wants to accompany us in this constant journey for conversion, right? So conversion is something that happens very personally, but also in community, right? Because we are social beings. If our social being wouldn't matter, I guess each one of us will have our own planet, you know, for you to live your own faith. But we were created as social beings. So I like living my faith in, of course, my personal time of prayer. But I see how it's a circle that nourishes one and gives me the strength for the other one. You know, like when you see my ring here, you cannot really see the beginning and the end. And that's how I think we transition from personal faith to community faith, you know, like personal way of celebrating faith to community way of celebrating faith. Because the sacrament, for example, when I go to Mass, it helps me a lot, but I'm there in community as well. So yeah, I guess the sacraments, the liturgical cycle is something that I see in a personal way and in a community way to celebrate our faith. First, I guess, to know that I'm not alone. I'm not alone in everything that I go through. When I think of Jesus' life here on earth, I realize that Jesus touched every single aspect of our human reality. Like there's nothing that I lived that he didn't go through. And there is nothing that anyone in the whole existence of humanity that will go through something that he did not went through, right? So that gives a motivation and reason for the way I choose to live the way I choose to live. So through morality, for example, right, that I think it's a very controversial topic, like how do you to take care of your body in a way that it's, like a responsible way, and also respecting that you're the temple of the Holy Spirit, to be able to express the beauty of your dignity through your body, also through your relationships. I think it's to know, really, the very simple question, what would Jesus do, right? When I think of the Ten Commandments, I really don't see a list of you shall not. In fact, the translation from the language the Bible that it was written right in Hebrew. So the origin, the way that was written basically is not you shall not. It's a way that in Hebrew is written that it's because you love me so much, you wouldn't even think of, blah, blah, blah. So it's really, you shall not kill, you shall not blah, 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 you shall not. It's more because you love me, your God, your creator, your redeemer, you wouldn't even think of treating yourself that way or treating others that way. You will want to respect yourself and respect others and love me in return, right? And all of this is out of love. So that's why I've discovered how the church is such a wonderful, loving, and caring mother to all of us that does not impose a bunch of norms to our lives, but actually putting in front of us a mirror where we can see what will make us happy, Regnum Christi for me has been the place where I have encountered Jesus in a personal way. As I was saying in the question before, my faith for me is not a bunch of norms, right? It's a personal relationship with someone. So that's what Regnum Christi has done for me. Regnum Christi has helped me to have a personal encounter, a personal relationship with Jesus. That, it's different to know of God and to know God. To know of God is with your head, but to know God is with the heart. And not because you know God with your head, that means that you know that person. I can stalk you in Facebook. I see everything about you. I can know your birthday, I can know your friends, I can know where you went to school, everything. I can know your favorite things, even give you the right gift for your birthday by stalking you in Facebook. But by knowing intellectually the ideas about you, does that mean that I know you with my heart? Not necessarily. And I think that's what Regnum Christi has done for me. All the intellectual knowledge that I receive of God, Regnum Christi helped me to make it, to bring it to my heart, to make it a personal relationship with someone. And I owe Regnum Christi for that, really. And if I can describe it in one word, family. Regnum Christi is really my family. My parents are Regnum Christi members, and my siblings are Regnum Christi members. And my youngest brother is discerning his vocation to the priesthood in the Legionaries of Christ. So we only missed the branch of the consecrated men. In my house, we might have the legionary, we have already the consecrated, is me. My parents and my siblings are lay members, we're just missing the consecrated men. I don't know. As of right now, from my siblings, it won't come, maybe my cousins. Alright, but it's really been a family. Not only a spiritual family, but in my case, even a blood family. In my blood family, it also comes together in this spiritual family of Regnum Christi. So, yeah.
1, 2, 3, go!